Now I'd like to call on stage Mr. Joseph Lee and Alexander Lee from KITA. Again, if you have any questions, raise your hand, we take the microphone.
Boa tarde, tudo bem? Is that good? Yeah. Hi, my name is Joseph Lee, a manager of KITA. I'm in charge of the trade affairs on the western coast US and Latin America, including the Great Brazil. Okay, let me introduce our organization, KITA, Korea International Trade Association. Very briefly, not too boring. Okay, next. KITA, we had almost 70 years of history, one of the oldest and biggest economic organization in Korea. Anybody knows SEBRAE or ESP? Yeah. Yes, like that. Okay, next. We have goals. We support our Korean companies, especially exporting companies, also importing companies as well, for them to expand their business to the global market, and also we foster the partnership between our Korean companies and the overseas companies, including Brazilian companies. We have a strategy. This is our goals: international collaboration, research, education, and access to global market. Let me break down more specifically. Next. The first one is our goal is building better trade environment, like by cooperation with major trading partner and organizations abroad, like SEBRAE or VSP. Last year we had a trade delegation to the Brazil, Rio Grande do Sul, Porto Alegre. We had a meeting with Vice Governor and the chairman of the PRs. We had an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding and Partnership with the PRs for foster the future partnership, exchange, delegation, and business, export, import, matching. And second category of our activity is enhancing trade competitiveness, which is like more like trade diplomacy. Trade diplomacy is like a help access to Korean market for Brazilian companies, like Vale or big companies, Petrobras, is that right? Okay. And we also provide opportunity to explore global market for Korean companies. We hold world-class trade exhibition in COEX, which is our subsidiary company. And we dispatch delegation to global partner countries, including Brazil. Operate Trade Korea, which is an online website. You can search on Naver or Google, which is Trade Korea. You can find the Korean products to be exported to global market. And next, please. And we do research the industry and nurturing experts. We have a separate entity which is called Institute for International Economy. It's only one institute for expertise in trade. And we have a World Trade Academy. Anybody have ever heard of World Trade Academy before? Now you have heard, okay? World Trade Academy, we have lessons, all categories of trade. If you have a chance, you are always welcome to take courses in here. We do logistics and some contract and research, all kinds of the categories in trade. But unfortunately, only in Korean. Okay, the first, constructing national electronic trade infrastructure. I guess I was told most of you are majoring in engineering and computer science and chemistry, something like that. Maybe you might have a big interest in this kind of project of our KITA. U-Trade Hub system is e-trade system for paperless trade operation. In trade, we use a lot of, the emails not emails, the paper, like contract papers, and lots of papers. By operating this system, you don't have to make some, the like assignment or that kind of paper jobs. In Korea it's possible, but globally it's not possible yet. But by making MOU and partnership with other government, including Brazilian government, we hope and we make this kind of system in the near future in about 5 or 10 years. Okay, the last one is resolving industry difficulties. Actually, the last one is the most biggest and important thing for our job. Like a SEBRI or ESP, they do the same job. This is the first priority. They do on the trade, on their business, they have a lot of difficulties, like in the trade barriers. Like Brazilian, maybe most of you, not most of you knows about the Brazilian, the importing barrier is kind of high for the overseas companies, including Korea. So we keep trying to negotiate and persuade and talking with the government about these kind of problems. And next, please. This is World Trade Center Seoul. KITA, Korea International Trade Association. We have a governance of all this area. Like Person Trade Tower, which is the headquarters of KITA. And the second one is COES, Korea Exhibition. And third one is COES Mall, is basement. Have you anybody been to COES Mall? Yeah, thank you. And first, SM Tower. This is pretty much office building like Trade Tower. And CALT, Korea Logistics and Terminal. With this terminal, anybody been to CALT? Any ideas about what they do? CALT is a internal inner city airport. Like you can make a check-in and report to the legal administration to make it very, very quick to the boarding pass. So by checking here and reporting to the government, you can take just 5 minutes for the security in Incheon Airport. Very interesting, isn't it? Okay. And 6 is Intercontinental Hotel. We have 50% of share over this hotel. And 7, the Hyundai department store. We have 33% of share of this department. And 8 is Oku, the hotel for the foreign buyers or clients to stay there. This is the concept of our World Trade Center. This is designed for all trade. Like this, the overseas, the foreign buyers or clients, they came to Korea to negotiate the trade and business. Like here, there are office buildings, all the hundreds, thousands of companies, they operate their business here. They make some conference here, and they visit the exhibition, World Trade Exhibition at the COEX. And they do some, they stay here, hotel, Oku or Intercontinental, and at the last of the business day, they need some refreshment or some fun things to buy for their families in their home country. They can visit this Hyundai department store, and then they can just check in here in about 10 minutes and then go to Incheon Airport directly and then get some very express security area. So that's the concept of World Trade Center. We designed it in 1988. We built it. It's been operating for about 20 years. Okay, so KITA, okay, thank you. With KITA, we have 11 local branches nationwide in Korea. We have Seoul is headquarters. So local branches, Gyeonggi, Incheon, even Jeju, we have all around. And next. We also have overseas branches. We have 9 branches in Europe, in US, in China, Tokyo, and even ASEAN. And now we are planning and some research on establishing our regional, overseas branches in Latin America. Where? Brazil, yes. Hopefully next year or until by 2014, we're gonna make our new overseas branches in São Paulo maybe or Rio de Janeiro. Now then you can join our team. Okay, this is pretty much the end of my presentation of what we do and who we are. Next, my colleague Alex will introduce the activities of our brilliant Brazilian interns. Milena, Renata, where you at? Renata, yeah, Renata is there. Daniel? Okay, Daniel. Thank you for listening my presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Alex, who's going to continue our presentation. Actually, I've been to Brazil. I used to live in Brazil for 1 year and a half, so I falo português. Eu amo o Brasil. Também here, Daniel, Renata, they help a lot. And Daniel works in e-business department, which is pretty much related to internet-based work. And they compile buyers database. And Renata and Milana, they work for America's department. Next. So let me just briefly introduce what they actually do on our teams. So first of all, the research things they do is Brazilian social and economic scenario. They actually work on particularities of each region and each sector and each state. Since Brazil is such a huge country, so each state has different cultures and different industries. So we need to focus on what actually works on there. So second one is structural Brazilian foreign trade. Brazil is huge beyond our imagination. So Brazil has many foreign trade sectors in the government, such as PAX, SEX, and the ministry, MIDE, and etc. So they work on what Brazilian organizations are there, and they built up some chart of organization to let us know quite easily. And the third one is relationship between Brazil and South Korea. So we received some many our important personnel from Brazil. So sometimes we have some talks between Mr. Han, Chairman Han Dok-soo, and some people from Brazil. So they need to prepare some papers for them to talk. So it's really important for them to know what Brazil is actually working there. Next. And what is the actual potential markets for South Korea in Brazil? And many potential sectors and many competitors in each industry. And the last one is the best way to find reliable Korean manufacturers and suppliers. I guess in our businesses, the most important thing is how we can find some reliable buyers or suppliers. So what they're actually working on. They're actually reliable buyers or sellers. Then the next one. So here are some photos of their activities. The first one is we had some meetings with people from UBEC São Paulo. I'm not sure if you, I guess the vast majority of students who are here know about UBEC São Paulo, right? So we had some talks and we shared some opinions and we saw how we can invest in São Paulo. The second one here, we received Mr. Luis Felipe Maltadel. He works at Badesul. Yeah. There was Milana, Singer Maltadel, Daniel. So we had some business consultations there also. So KIDA works like more in terms of macroeconomic sense. So we had some consultations with Korean companies, and there were Singer Felipe in Maltadel. So which was quite quite memorable and yeah, really such a nice time. Next. And also, America's Department, we have some Korea-US University Student Economic Ambassadors. So they participated there, they helped a lot, and they had dinner with them. Such an enjoyable time. Next. So from time to time, since we have COEX, so we, Milena and Nada participated in Mexico Investment Seminar, and they got to see how Mexican economic and trade process works there, and which was quite also enjoyable time, and they learned a lot, I guess. And we participated in Colombia Independence Day event. Each country, I guess, in Latin America has Independence Day. Korea also has Independence Day. So we participated there. And 29th of July is Independence Day of Peru, I guess. So we also plan to participate there. Last but not least, we participated in Symposium Exhibition of Nam Korea 2013, since they have come to Korea through the program of Science Without Borders. So they participated there and saw what kind of etching Korean technologies were there. So, and also last Sunday was Anata's birthday. We had fetching it.
We're working on that.
Yeah, we had some cakes and we come. A gente falou parabéns para ela. Foi muito bom. Yeah, this is all about what Kira is like, and we hope in the next year or in the next winter, if there are some interest who would like to for Kira, we are always welcome to help. And thank you.